Today's episode of the More You Know podcast features Apple Crider, who's the host of the Top 100 podcast Young Smart Money, as well as Dave Daley, who's an accomplished entrepreneur, author, podcaster, and motivational speaker known as the Monster Motivator. And lastly, Travis Huff, who's a social media consultant and also the host of the Be Real show. I asked each of them what's their favorite piece of wisdom that was shared on their podcast. Enjoy the episode.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
No
Podcast.
Well, I've been podcasting for about 2 years now. All the while, Young Smart Money, that's the name of the show. Started off as more of a personal finance show, pivoted into more of an entrepreneurship show as my sort of interests evolved. And so the biggest piece of wisdom, or one of my favorite pieces of, quote unquote, wisdom that I've received from a guest on my show after doing over 250 episodes, has got to be that you need to think outside the box. Okay. A lot of people, when they're coming into the world of entrepreneurship, I talk to a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of young people who are ambitious. They want to do something cool. They want to start something up. And what I see a lot of people doing is sort of looking for those like cookie cutter businesses, like starting an Amazon store or a Shopify store or social media marketing, like all of these like cookie cutter businesses that you can find hundreds, thousands of gurus teaching you how to do online. And sure, like people do have success with those. I'll definitely say that. I'll be the first to admit I know plenty of people who are having success selling on Amazon, selling social media marketing. Like I know plenty of people doing that, but I also know a whole lot of people who have tried these things and just failed because they're just trying to replicate a system that exists. It's not something that they have any particular interest in. It's not something they are particularly well suited to do. And so what I have seen people have the most success in, what I've talked to plenty of people who are doing very well at a very young age. And the biggest thing that I've learned from them is like, you need to do something different. Okay. I'm totally guilty of this too. Okay. I tried starting an Amazon store like 3-4 years ago. I was like 16, 17 years old. Tried doing Amazon, was doing social media marketing for a while, was growing Instagram pages for a while. Like I did all like the cliche businesses, and yeah, I had a little bit of success with them, but like long term it fizzled out because I didn't care about it. Okay. Like it wasn't something that got me jazzed up every single morning. I wasn't like getting out of bed like, oh yeah, we're going to grow a couple thousand followers today. It's going to be great. Like I really didn't care. So all that being said, like find something that really is unique to you and someplace where you can really provide value to people in a way that isn't just one of those like cookie cutter businesses where you just sort of like plug yourself into a system. I'm just not really a huge fan of those. And honestly, from the people that I've talked to, the people who are having real success are not doing those. So that's sort of the biggest piece of wisdom that I've taken away from talking to a couple hundred successful entrepreneurs. And I hope that sort of brings some clarity or, I don't know, just sort of a new perspective to you.
What is one of your favorite pieces of wisdom shared on your podcast? Look, our podcast that we're doing is called Brand Builder TV. And ultimately, it's about rising above the noise and elevating your position in your industry in 2020, not 2004. Here's the biggest difference is it's kind of going in reverse. Back in 2004, and I just use that arbitrary year, 2004, it was about your business brand, right? Maybe, depending on what industry you're in, maybe it was your personal brand as well. But I don't care what industry it was back then, nothing like it is today. Now it's reverse. Your personal brand is the epicenter. Your business brand will grow accordingly. That's just the way we are right now. And it's getting even more about your personal brand 2021, 22, 23. I promise you, right? That's why audio and video is so prime. It's so prime because people want to get behind that black curtain, right? It's about, so what we talk about here is branding and marketing in 2020, not 2004, because at the end of the day, if you were on just one platform, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, just one of those platforms, TikTok, you are a global brand, whether you like it or not. So understanding the times that you're living in, so that evolution train you get to jump on that instead of the evolution train running you over.
I would say Kai-Fu Lee was a fascinating one for me because he shared the wisdom that podcasters will always be in business, because anyone that does anything with their minds of creativity, of something that can't be automated by a robot, for instance, or an AI, they will always be in business. So if you're an actor, a podcaster, an interviewer, anything you do that's you and it's your personality and people are following you and like your delivery and like your approach and the way you ask questions, you're going to always be in business. So I thought that was fascinating, because in this world that we hear about, we're now 2020, of everything's going to get eliminated. If you can be a creator, you will not be eliminated. And I thought that was just a fascinating, although there's been a lot of other ones maybe that, I've come across the path. I always thought that was just a fascinating thing, is that I felt, oh, wow, that's interesting. Well, I might not be getting paid completely what I want on the podcast today. And we're not getting it's not a full-time business. It's a side-time hustle to the full-time business of real-time outsource. But the biggest thing is like, oh, man, what would come from this, knowing that like my social media business might be getting automated by an AI, but I might still have a podcast and people might like the T Huff and want to talk to Teuton and see, and that might turn into more. So it's just fascinating. I think that sometimes the wisdom comes in different ways. It's almost one of those things that felt negative at first, but then it was like, oh, be a creator. Never forget, creativity wins in this world of computers and AI and artificial intelligence and things like that.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
no
Podcast.